Okay, so let's talk The Sea of Tranquility by Katja Millay. This book is all over the place. Just about every blogger I follow has read it and has just thought it was amazing. Like, the best book they've read. And, I've been trying, to not read as many books based off of that sort of categorization, the best book I read, whatever. Basically because I've read, 4 books that were categorized as someone's best book they read, and they were, the worst books ever read. So, I was a little hesitant, but I heard that it was on NetGalley, and it was a read now, so I'm like, why not? What do I have to lose? I'm on Christmas vacation, whatever. So I got it, and I started reading it, and I was, not even that far in, and I was just like, holy cow, everyone is actually finally correct. This is such a great book. I don't know if it's the best book ever, but it is, the best book I've read this year, although I have only read one, so take that with a grain of salt. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what this book entails. The book is about two people, Nastya Koshnikov and Josh Bennett. And there's some minor characters thrown in there, but they're not really all that important. Those two are the most important. And some background on them. Nastya is a girl who was a very promising pianist. She was so incredibly talented, and she focused on just playing the piano all the time. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry. So she's really, really talented, and one day she was viciously attacked, and the guy killed her for a little while. But thanks to technology and amazing doctors, she was brought back to life. And since that time, she hasn't really been the same, which, if you were viciously attacked and died for a little while, I think you wouldn't be the same either, safe to say, and your priorities would probably change. But Nastya, she comes back and nothing is ever the same. Her hand is all messed up. They have to put it back together, basically, and it's just she has these tremors, and she can't play the piano at all anymore. Her whole life is completely different, and so she's having a hard time coping, obviously. And when she starts to remember some of the things that happened, for a while she couldn't remember. She starts to remember, and she just closes down. She does not speak to anyone. And I think around the time the novel started, she hasn't spoken to anyone in a year, which is crazy. Can you even imagine not speaking to anyone for a whole year? I can't. I would probably go about a day and then give in. Yeah, maybe not even a day. So, obviously she has a strong will. So the guy comes in to the story, Josh Bennett comes in when Nastya moves to, she's already in Florida. It takes place in Florida, the entire novel, but she moves to another place in Florida to live with her aunt, just to get her away from everything that happened and the attack and people who know about it, because everyone treats her differently, and that's not really helping anything. So she moves to a new place where no one knows her. She has a new name, and I'm sorry, I have the yawns. Yeah, so she's totally different. She looks all different too, and Josh Bennett goes to that school, and he is this guy that just kind of catches her attention from the start because he's alone, and it's he has this force field around him where no one else is allowed inside his bubble. He is by himself. And that kind of intrigues her, I think, because she feels alone. No one really understands her, So that kind of brings them together. And this rest of the story is just about his past, because he has a very interesting past as well that really has influenced his life. His life has been very, very hard, and I'm not going to tell you what happened, because that's further into the novel. But yeah, they have a lot that they have in common and that they can relate to, and they're both carrying a lot of baggage, and this book is really, I mean, it's not really a plot-driven book by any means. I think it's more about exploring these characters and exploring how they're dealing with these situations, and just their relationship as they come together and help each other just deal, you know. It's not a fluffy book by any means. It's very, it's a heavy book, and it's just kind of haunting, and you can't help but think about these characters more and more because you know them, like, inside and out. You know everything about Josh Bennett and Nastya Koshnikov. And whether you like them or not, you just know so much about them. You just feel so connected. And I finished reading it about a week ago, and I've just been thinking about it ever since. It's just one of those books that stays with you. And I think anyone who really enjoys character development over plot or world building will really love this book a lot. It's contemporary. It's not what I thought it would be at all. I thought it would be about a kick-ass girl who was murdered and then comes back and finds her murderer and solves her murder and beats him, you know. And it's not about that at all. It's much better, much deeper. There is one word of caution. It's an intense book, and it does have a bit of, you know, like swearing and things like that. And some drug use and some sexual things. So if that's going to bother you, you may not enjoy this book. But I think you should give it a try. Honestly, I really think anyone who's interested in characters should definitely give this a try because it's just very, very well done. So yeah, finally all the bloggers were right. 5 out of 5, baby. Whoop whoop. Holla. Okay, see ya.